Hello and welcome to NAFDAC and your else. My name is Tosing Omolaja. This is the program that brings you all the important information you need to know about NAFDAC, the agency saddled with the responsibility of safeguarding our health by ensuring that the foods, drugs, cosmetics, and medical equipment made available to us are safe and wholesome.
3 weeks ago, we began our features on the arrival of Nigeria's first batch of COVID-19 vaccine, its effect on the population that have so far been vaccinated, and all the measures NAFDAC has put in place to maintain the quality of vaccines in circulation and monitor side effects and adverse reactions. On the program today, we'll have a one-on-one with Chief Executive Officer of NAFDAC. We'll look at how the pandemic has affected the local drug manufacturing industry and what the government and indeed NAFDAC is doing to mitigate those effects and how the agency is winning the war against fake drugs. But first, we kick off with some updates on the COVID-19 vaccine. There has been some confusion about the particular vaccine that is being currently administered in Nigeria. Controversy on whether Covishield is the same as the NAFDAC-approved Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. The Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, cleared the air on this.
AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine was made in England, and when you are a manufacturer, you can sub-license. License rather, your product to another company to make. So AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine was licensed to Serum Institute of India. So this the same product. They just licensed to them to start reproducing the same thing that they are making in England. So and when it got to India, it was given a trade name, Covishield. So Covishield is the trade name in India for AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine. Covishield and AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine are the same.
On fears of grave side effects or adverse reactions to the vaccine, the DG made clear that the vaccine, like any other vaccine or medicine, could have some side effects on some people, but this doesn't make it unsafe.
Well, vaccines are medicines, and medicines that are under development, that are given emergency use authorization, will have side effects. You have adverse events following immunization. You have adverse events that are serious. You have adverse events that are of special interest. Okay? So anybody who thinks there will not be side effects on vaccines, that person doesn't know anything about science. Even if it is fever, we take our children for vaccines and we give them Panadol before they go or after. And then they become a little restless. That's side effect. So, because that side effect is there, we shouldn't give our children vaccines? No. So, in terms of the COVID vaccines, there are side effects. There are side effects following immunizations. There are serious side effects. I gave an example when I was going to be given my own jab, that before I took it, 2 hours before, I took Panadol because I may have fever. Okay? Although I didn't even have fever, but I took Panadol. I have allergic reactions to things, to food, to some foods. I got my medicine on the side, my normal tablet thing, just in case. But I also told them that if it is very, very serious, which is adverse events of special interest, I told them, please bring the injection that I can take if I just faint, because I could faint, So I asked them, do you have EpiPen or adrenaline or what? And they said, yes, I've already told them. So my point is, there is no drug that doesn't have side effects. It is for us to let whoever we're going to give the vaccine to, or ask them, how long have you been to your doctor? What is your problem? Do you have serious problem? Things like that. We need to engage them, because we don't know these new medicines. Do they interact with other this vaccine? Do they interact with other medicines? We don't know yet. And that is part of drug development. When you're doing a drug development, you go through phases 1, 2, 3. All these vaccines have gone through that. Then you come to phase 4, post-marketing pharmacovigilance. That is after the drug is already on the market. Although this one is not really on the market, we gave special approval, but it's like it is on the market because millions of people are getting it now. So what you saw in 20,000 for phase 3, or what you didn't see rather, among 20,000 to 40,000 in phase 3, you may see it in 1 million people. So that is why, ruling adverse events out. In fact, for Nigeria, I don't know what we are doing. We don't make any, we don't do much science. And we are complaining because we don't understand what is going on. But for vaccines, we have, for what we have now, we have adverse events following immunizations, chills, people that we have recorded using our Med Safety app. The Med Safety app has helped a lot. About 5,000 plus people have downloaded it. And they are recording what they observe after getting their immunization. So, there are few adverse events that are serious, and they were treated in the hospital and discharged.
Local manufacturing of medicines in Nigeria was one of the sectors that was badly hit by the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. NAFDAC, through its global upgrade regime and international partnerships, have, however, been able to create an enabling environment for local drug manufacturing in Nigeria to get intercontinental partnerships that have proven advantageous to the local industry.
COVID-19 pandemic has made us to realize what we were pretending not to know in the past. Because at the beginning of the pandemic, China shut down, India didn't shut down, there wasn't COVID-19 there at that point. But India was importing materials, drugs, some drugs from China, materials especially. So it means it affected India. So what happened is that India then shut their own borders in terms of getting things out, exportation. And Nigeria, being a dependent country on India and China for drugs, was greatly affected. Because in Nigeria, we don't manufacture anything that goes into a tablet. We don't manufacture non-active ingredients. We don't manufacture the active ingredients. We don't manufacture the equipment that you will use. You don't manufacture what you're going to, like capsules. We don't manufacture capsules, nothing except water. So it affected our local manufacturers greatly. An active ingredient that maybe was like $12 per kilo before became $60, $80 per kilo. So it is it made us to realize that we are an insecure country. Insecure in terms of drug, insecure in terms of health, because a country that depends on other countries for almost everything is an insecure country. But there are good things that are coming out of COVID-19 also. I just said that it made us to realize what we were pretending not to know. The government realized that the health sector has been neglected for decades. If you remove health and education from a national development plan, that country has no future. So the government recognized that the health sector has been neglected. But you know what has been lost for 20, 30 years? You cannot gain it overnight. But we needed to start somewhere, and the government started somewhere. They started supporting local manufacturers, giving low interest loans to develop their infrastructure. The money may not be very huge relatively, but it is somewhere to start from, you know. So in terms of local manufacturers, it is, I would tell, there's no fault of theirs, except that we all depended too much on China and India. So now we have local manufacturers trying to now manufacture active ingredients in the country. That takes a lot of money too. That is where the government and the private sector have to really come in, to know that it is not a business of just the manufacturers to develop their infrastructure. Because if they develop their infrastructure, we will get our young people employed. So it is both coming together to work. But now we have something that is much better than what we had last year. We now have some partnerships of multinational companies with local companies because of NAFDAC strengthening our own system. Now we are now strengthening the local manufacturers. But henceforth, I believe it's going to be much better than what it was 2-3 years ago.
NAFDAC and your else will be back in a moment. Please stay tuned.
The MedSafety app is the latest reporting tool introduced by the National Agency for Food, Drug Administration and Control in November 2020 as part of the Innovative Medicines Initiative project. The app is made available to the public in collaboration with World Health Organization, Uppsala Monitoring Center, Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, UK, and National Agency for Food, Drugs and Administration and Control, NAFDAC. The MedSafety app allows users to track safety information of medicines, vaccines and other health products, report adverse drug reaction to a medicine or vaccine, and view data on suspected side effects. When you have received your COVID-19 vaccine, you can use the MedSafety app to report any adverse reaction or side effect you may feel. The app can be used by anybody, irrespective of whether you are a medical practitioner or not. You, your family and friends, everyone can download and use the MedSafety app to report adverse drug reaction. Just search for MedSafety on Google Play Store for Android and App Store for iOS. When using the app for the first time, the user needs to select his or her region, in this case, Nigeria, and also choose the preferred language of choice. The user will then be taken to the login page where you create an account by providing your email and password or proceed as a guest. To create an account, you are required to provide the following details: reporter type, example, physician or pharmacist, as well as their name and email address, password with at least 9 characters with 1 uppercase letter and a number. Read the privacy statement and accept. Once you are logged in, the user is presented with a number of tabs, which includes news, products and watch lists. Under the Report tab, the user can report a new suspected adverse drug reaction ADR. On opening a new report, the user is prompted to input patient details, which include initials, sex, and date of birth. The user is then required to input details of the suspected medicine. These include suspected medicine name, other drug details such as strength, batch, dosage details. Multiple suspect drugs and concomitant drugs can be added at any time. The report can be saved and completed at a later time. A saved report can be found on Pending Reports and can be continued by clicking on the report and continuing from where the user stopped. Enter reaction details, reaction date and outcomes. Multiple suspects' reaction can also be added. Also, further details about the report can also be included, such as did the reaction cause prolonged hospitalization, disability, congenital anomaly, or birth defect, life-threatening results in deaths, and so on. Finally, you can also add details of any relevant medical history before submitting the report. The user receives a message on the app confirming submission and an acknowledgement in the mail for submission. Reports can be created and saved without internet connection and be sent whenever internet connection is available. The product tabs show all medicines in the NAFDAC list database. It's easier to navigate to a drug or vaccine of interest, and this data is obtained from the WHO Uppsala Monitoring Center. User can also add products of interest to their watch list to get the latest information on the drugs. All products added to the watch list can be viewed in the watch list tab. The News tab displays drug safety information by NAFDAC. This is usually up to date with drug safety information. Registered users can also edit their profile or change app settings. For more information on the app, please contact the National Pharmacovigilance Center (NPC) at NAFDAC headquarters, plot 2032, Olusegun Obasanjo Way, Wuse Zone 7, Abuja, or call 09290511110 or send email to medsafetyapp@nafdac.gov.ng or pharmacovigilance@nafdac.gov.ng.
Welcome back. If you are just joining in, you're watching NAFDAC and your rails.
Although the challenge of getting drugs imported due to the restriction necessitated by the pandemic have now eased out, NAFDAC has laid out very high standards for the quality of medicines, either imported or locally manufactured.
70% of our drugs are imported. Only 30% we manufacture locally. So to start thinking of imported drugs now, by the grace of God, in 5 years' time, we will talk less about imported drugs. We should talk less about imported drugs because we have to be dependent. We have to be self-reliant to some extent because we cannot manufacture all the drugs that we're going to need. But if you can swing it from 70 imported and 30 locally manufactured to 70 locally manufactured and 30, the country will be more secured. But in terms of imported drugs, it is not importing drugs, it's the quality of the drugs. We have put a lot of gag on drugs coming into the country because a lot of them are substandard, counterfeited. So we do pre-shipment testing. We put a gateway there in the exporting countries because we went there, chose the types of labs that will be testing our products. And we gave them a riot act that if you do mago, we're going to remove you. If you are fraudulent or you are not straightforward with us, we're going to remove you. That has led to us stopping more than 80 consignments of drugs because they are just people that are fakers of drugs over there. Of course, we have local manufacturers too that don't meet the specifications. But whether it's local or imported, our standards are high, and we expect high standards from them. But talking of imported, it's not just imported; it is the quality of medicines that are getting much better now.
The agency has made tremendous strides in its fight against counterfeiting and substandard medicine, both from abroad and those locally manufactured.
NAFDAC is winning the war because NAFDAC is a daily fight. First of all, we are not stopping. Why I said NAFDAC is winning the war is that NAFDAC knows her way now. If you are trying to do a battle and you don't even know, you don't have the tools to fight the battle or to go into battle. You cannot say you are you're going. It's almost a loss, from the beginning. So why I said we are winning the war is because we keep going after people that are fraudsters, unscrupulous people making bad medicines. I just told you that the pre-shipment, that has never happened in NAFDAC before. To have about 80 companies stopped, they cannot ship into the country. That is winning the war, because their bad products will have come our way. We have delisted some companies. We have blacklisted some companies. That is winning the war. Why we are also winning the war is because we are more responsible in managing our money, because it is money that we use to buy vehicles. It is money that we use to buy detection device to do on-the-spot checking of bad medicines in the market. So we are winning the war because we now have vehicles that we are purchasing through our own meager revenue. But through good management, we are able to get money to buy vehicles. We are able to get money to buy these detection devices. We are able to get some money to buy equipment. We are not there. We need more money. But at least we know we are on the path of making sure that we fight bad medicines, whether outside the country or within the country.
The path towards ridding the country of these nefarious products and their facilitators also includes strengthening the laws of the land, and the agency has taken proactive steps in this direction, engaging the legislative arm of government for a holistic review of the relevant laws.
I believe the progress is good. You know, the last review of that law was 20-something years ago. Our CAP N1 is our premium law, so to say. We have 4. But that one is the one that needed to be reviewed, because it was done the review was done about 20 years ago. And there were things, descriptive words, that are relevant today that nobody thought of. First, because NAFDAC is expanding. So you have to include or make it very explicit, some of the things that we are doing now. But it's going very well. The Committee on Health is at it, and they are working very hard to help us.
That's it for today. Make it a date, same time, same station next week for a fresh edition. In the meantime, if you have comments, complaints, or you want to report activities of fake drugs or adulterated food products peddlers, our doors are always open.
You can reach NAFDAC via toll-free numbers. For inquiries, call 0700-162-3322. For complaints, call 0800-162-3322. You may also email NAFDAC at nafdac.gov.ng. If you have complaints about any form of misconduct, you can reach the Reforms Unit via email reforms@nafdac.gov.ng or call the Reforms hotlines on 0909 763 0506 or 0909 763 0507. NAFDAC, customer focused, agency minded.
Remember, COVID-19 is real. Please ensure you and your family follow the safety measures as outlined by the NCDC. Stay away from crowded places as much as possible, and if you must be out there, please wear a face mask. Wash your hands regularly with soap and water, and ensure you use only NAFDAC-approved alcohol-based hand sanitizers. See you next week. Stay safe.